check the girl. Oh baby, you know you got it going on. Hey, what's up? Welcome back. I'm gonna talk to you today about Lately and how that song's coming along. I'm almost done with it, so I want to talk to you about two things on that, and that's the lyrics, how I built those, put those together, and how I came up with a melody kind of a little bit. Well, I won't talk too much about the melody, but I'm going to talk to you about how I'm building the lyrics up and putting that song together with the vocals. And then I'm also going to talk to you about the lead guitar. I recorded the lead guitar, but didn't really show you guys how I did that. So, you know, I've walked you along with the bass. I've talked to you a little bit about, if you're following along, this will kind of get everything as a whole for you, as how the song is being put together, and just kind of how I structure the song, how I, come up with the ideas. So, and I know I'm kind of babbling a little bit because I don't really know how to explain this portion here, but it's basically putting the song together, right? Like, melodically, what do I do, right? Like, how do I, add texture in a sense to the song? So this is what the lead is for me on this one. And it's a lead that kind of plays all the way through the song, but it's there to like kind of move the song along for me in my mind, right? That's how I wrote it. So that's what my vision was with the lead. And the lead was done before I did the lyrics. So the song is very interesting to me how it's coming together, but it sounds very raw, very very good. It's got a very good vibe to it, and with Chris's bass, that was nothing that I would have put on there. And when I first heard it, I was like, I don't know if this is gonna flow right? And we just went with it. I wasn't gonna kind of put any limits to Chris or even to myself. So it's very, very different than anything I would write. Just the bass line alone, even the drums. When Timmy put the drums on there, he kind of added his own thing to it. So, and then the lead, I usually will play the lead as I know where the lyrics are going to be, but this time I didn't know where the lyrics were going to be. So let's dive in a little bit. Let me show you the song. So I'm just going to show you the lead guitar, and I'm going to show you the lead guitar kind of in the bass section or in the verse section right before the change and the break. So you can just kind of hear one lead guitar with one microphone. So check this out. That was the first microphone. So let me show you the second microphone and then the third microphone as well. One microphone. Two microphones. Three microphones. All right, now what I'll do is I'll show you the guitar with just the drums, and then I'll bring in the bass, and then I'll bring in the rhythm guitar, and then you'll kind of see how it's all kind of playing along, and you'll see it all kind of develop here. Like I said, I'm totally writing the song in front of you, so I'm very excited about that. Like I mentioned before, it was very nerve-wracking as I was going through it, but now that the song's done, it's still a little nerve-wracking because I got to get the mix down right. But I'm in a better spot. So this is going to be just the guitar, and then like I mentioned, I'm gonna add the drums. Bass drum. Turn it up a little bit. And I'll add the bass guitar. So I really like the grittiness of that guitar. Like it is full on, just like there's some grit behind it. So that's why I wanted to keep it. I'm like, this sounds a little raunchy. It feels alive to me. So that's why I'm keeping this particular lead guitar. It wasn't in my mind that I was gonna keep this one. In my mind, it was just a scratch track to record, but after listening to it, it just flows good with the song. So I really, really enjoy that. So let's listen to it a little bit more. And that's what I mean by leading the song. It kind of like does its thing, you know. It kind of just I feel like it's the song kind of travels with that lead. All right, so that was topic number one. Now I kind of want to dive a little bit into the lyrics and how I kind of put that together. So the lyrics was definitely something very hard for me. I wanted to write about the present, what's going on in life, some of the things that I think about, some of the things that, you know, are going on around me. And I just kind of incorporate the words to that basically. So I'm not going to show you the lyrics now. I'm going to wait till the end, maybe a totally different episode, but I'm going to show you what I did with the song as far as recording the vocals and how I got that done, right? So let me show you here. So all of these are tracks. So as you can see, the top we got the bass drum, the snare, another snare, a hi-hat, a drum, the bass drum, or sorry, the left hand side overhead, the right hand side overhead, and then we have the two bass tracks that Chris did. So we did a little bit of punching in and punching out to record that bass line. And then here are some tracks that I don't use. Currently I haven't. So let me show you here. So the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tracks are drums. And then we got 2 bass tracks that we're keeping. These tracks that are doled out here, I'm not going to use. So, you know, just in case I needed to use them later as I'm getting down closer to the mix, I'll probably delete these tracks or move them somewhere completely different. Actually, I could probably delete them now. I kind of like to keep everything until I'm very close to the end and know what I'm going to use as the final recording. But so for now, these top tracks is what I'll be using. And then these are the lead guitars right here and the rhythm guitars. So these two here or sorry, these three here are rhythm guitar, and then these three here are lead guitar. So as I move into the vocals, and I color code things and I label things, but these are the vocal tracks. So when I'm talking about the editing and the mixing and why the editing takes me quite a bit is for many reasons, but let's break down the vocals a little bit. So when I did the vocals, as you can see, these are the ones that I'm keeping, and then these are the ones that I sang. So I sang from here, which was my beginning scratch track, track 25, all the way to track 55. So these first few tracks right here were done in one day, where I was trying to figure out what I want to sing, how I want to sing it, and, just kind of getting ideas for the song. So as you can see, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. It's a continuous take. And then I didn't do the choruses. I did choruses in different sections and different takes. And I was trying to figure out what I wanted to write the song. Like I mentioned, I'm here writing the song in front of you. So, that was my initial first attempt at writing the song. So then last weekend, when I told you I was going to record the vocals, it's basically from track 32 to track 55. That's how many times I sang the song. So typically, I will write a song and then I'll play it over and over and sing it and match the chords and get everything right as a guitar player, singer, songwriter type person. That's how I typically write. But since this song, I decided to go a completely different way, and it's pushed me and made me understand a little bit more on writing lyrics and writing a melody and not being dependent on following the guitar as a structure. It's definitely pushed me, so I've really enjoyed that portion of it. It's made me a better musician, I feel. So I really like that part. But normally what I do is weeks and months of just kind of humming and playing along with the chords and getting the song right. This time, since I'm writing it in front of you, and I've been singing along to some of the scratch tracks that I've recorded for myself, so I can kind of like work on it while I'm driving on the car, or I'm just got my earbuds on and working out. I'll throw in the song and I'll try to like just envision how I would sing or what I would sing to it or what the song's making me feel. So that's how I normally write the lyrics, or that's how I've been writing the lyrics for lately as well. So with that being said, let me break this down a little bit further for you so you can kind of understand what happens, right? So I sang the song like, 25, 30 times on Saturday as I was getting warmed up, as I was, every time I went into the booth, I'd hit record and I'd hit play. And every time I went into the booth, something new, something better developed, something else developed, or I was working on, hey, I like that, let me do it again. Let me hone this in. Let me change some of the lyrics. So some of the lyrics changes were done at last minute, right? So let me show you this. So here you can see the lyrics, and you can see how I kind of built them up. So these little dead spaces here are the breathing in when a singer goes to say a word or so. That breathing in, I delete that. So I like to do that instead of using a limiter where it's going to crush the sound, because I feel like, the voice is an instrument, and if you crush that sound with the limiter, you're crushing some of that texture that singer's voice has. So I try to use limiters and compressors as minimal as possible, but you have to use them at some point. But that's what I do to kind of limit some of that crushing of sound that I'm going to be using later to get the vocals to pop out and stand out on the song. So that's important, right? So that's just something I do, is clear that dead space. So let me zoom in a little bit to kind of show you that. As you can see right there, that's a different track there. And so this comes from a track below. Basically, I cut it and I put it up here. So that way it was a better intro line verse. So I like this, the way that sounded, instead of what was originally there. But then what I do is, you see this little dead space here? This right here is some breathing. That's that gasp of air that a singer does before they say their line. I delete those. So that's very important. So as you can see, this track has close to 55 vocal tracks. So every time I went into the booth to sing, whether it be a warm-up sing or I'm trying to figure it out, I'd hit record, I'd hit record, I'd hit record. And so then what I did is I built two songs off of those tracks. And then these other two are a little more solid. So they were tracks that I was like, okay, this is going to be one for the recording. And then I fixed some of the mistakes on some of them with some of the tracks that I had previously recorded. I just cut it and pasted it up there, and to make a solid track. That way I didn't have to spend months developing the song as I wrote the song. I could actually kind of just cut and paste what I needed into the song. So I'm hoping this is helping you, and I'm hoping I was able to kind of make some sense of how I put this song together. So Lately will be out here pretty soon. I'm very excited about it. So as I zoom out, see all these pieces in those scratch tracks that I was singing and I was doing. All these little pieces here are pieces that I've moved up to the main tracks that I'm going to use. So I've cut them and I put them up. I've cut them and I put them up. I was like, ooh, so now I've built one entire vocal track. So this track up here, which is the master track, and then this built one here, those ones are two tracks that I basically cut and pasted an entire good take, or a bunch of takes, and made one good solid take. And when I'm done, I will consolidate all of that, so basically make it one wave, and then I'll start to mix it, and I'll start to clean up some of those other tracks as well from some of the background noise. Just like, some of these areas have spaces where it's just maybe some dead noise in there. I'll do that to the instruments as well, and then ultimately have a finished product. So that does take time. So that's part of the reason why it takes me a little bit to get this done. So yeah, so Lately should be out here pretty soon. I still don't have a date. I don't want to set a date until I start mastering. So this is just the mixing portion. Once I start to master it, then I'll have a little bit better idea when the song will be ready. But I'm not going to say a month, but within a month, I think I should be pretty good. Like I mentioned, it does take me a little bit to mix and master, because you have to give your ears a little bit of a break too from listening to the same thing over and over. So I'm hoping this is helping you. Like I said, hit that subscribe and like button. It helps me, motivates me, all that good stuff. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh baby, you know you gotta go.